spies, bridges, Tom Hanks. All of these things will be discussed here in my short review of Bridge of Spies. This is Talkie Dreams. Will be discussed here in my short review of Bridge of Spies. Okay guys, Chandler here for Talkie Dreams, and this is the short review for Bridge of Spies. Now, as ever, the short review will have no spoilers. It'll be very short. I'm just going to tell you what I thought of the film. So let's just jump right in there, and I'll tell you what I thought about this. I saw this about 2 days ago, and if you didn't know, this film is directed by Steven Spielberg, but was also written by the Coen brothers, who are famed for The Big Lebowski, No Country for Old Men, so on and so forth. They have a very eclectic style and a lot of different films to choose from. So I was really excited when I went into this, thinking, oh my god, what are we going to get if we have Spielberg directing and the Coen brothers writing? It's going to be amazing, right? And there is a third writer here, which will come into play a little bit later when it comes to my feelings about this particular film. But let me just say right off the bat, I thought this was a really great film. I think it's a wonderful film, actually, and if you haven't seen it yet, do yourself a favor, go see Bridge of Spies. I really enjoyed it. The reason I enjoyed this film is because I like Spielberg. If you like good Spielbergian drama, you're going to like this film. This film looked great. It felt great. It was playful. It was dramatic. It was nice. It kind of reminded me of some of Spielberg's older films as well, which is a really nice feeling for me. Now, however, I will say this. This is not a spy film. It isn't. It is not a spy film. If you're going to go to this movie, judging from this poster right here, if you're going to the movie thinking I'm going to see some sort of action, really tense drama about spies, because we've been getting a lot of spy films this year with The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Spectre, you're going to be disappointed. That's not the kind of film you're getting in when you go to see Bridge of Spies. What you're actually going to be getting is a nice drama about real-life spies during the Cold War. So here's a little bit of the story. I won't spoil anything, but just to get you going to understand what's going to happen in the film. It's about Tom Hanks' character, who is an insurance defense attorney. And he gets mixed up in a whole defense process of a Russian spy named Rudolf Abel, who is detained and caught, well, by the U.S. government. Well, he gets mixed up in a lot of things, uses his humanitarian heart to try to make a deal of exchanging Abel for an American soldier who is also caught on the Russian side. Now, of course, there is more to it than that. It's a very complex situation, but the point is, this guy just goes and just does everything himself and helps the CIA, the FBI, the US government, the Russian government, the German government, everybody. It's a big mess, and he's a really powerful character, which is what Spielberg does really well. He shows you these powerful individuals who go through circumstances that most people would not. Now, this is based off of a true story. This really happened. They give you all the details like any other biography at the end of the film, what happened to them, what they did, so on and so forth. Like I said, this is not the kind of film that has a lot of action in it, not a lot of tension. There is some tension in it, but overall, it's just a good, wholesome drama. It's really nice to see Tom Hanks do what he does best, which is just be an average Joe who's doing some stuff that you wouldn't probably be able to do. So, and not so average Joe, I guess. And that's really cool. It's really fun. Spielberg is very playful in this film, and I have to say, he's also playful on a very technical level as well, which is a fantastic treat for anybody who really enjoys the technical side of filmmaking. He has great transitions in this film, really good camera angles, a lot of following shots, which is really nice. What I did find a bit strange about the film, though, overall, was just the fact that the Coen brothers wrote this film, and it doesn't really feel like a Coen brothers movie. Now, of course, it doesn't feel like one entirely. They didn't direct it. You know, this is not Fargo. This is not No Country for Old Men. It doesn't have that kind of weird, otherworldly, bleak kind of vibe to it. It is very much a Spielberg movie. Spielberg has directed this. There are touches to it that are very much Spielberg. But the writing as well just felt like a Spielberg film. And I've noticed this more often. People tend to write for Spielberg. They write it down in a way that they think this is going to attract Steven Spielberg. If you look at Interstellar, it's been cited now that that was written for Steven Spielberg, but he eventually could not do it due to time constraints, so Christopher Nolan took it over, and now it's the film we have today, which is fine. I think Christopher Nolan did a great job, but I'm very curious what Spielberg would have done with it and who he would have cast and stuff. I will say this about Bridge of Spies. When it comes to the casting of some of the smaller characters throughout the film, you can kind of tell who he would have cast in those roles around 10, 20 years ago as well. I mean, we had not Tom Cruise and not Matt Damon in the roles of the American soldiers. So there is a little bit of a just, I don't know, it's a kind of weird Spielbergian thing kind of stuck in time. I mean, the fact that Tom Hanks is on the top of it right now says enough for me that, you know, this is exactly what Spielberg would do, and it's exactly what he did. but it looks great. I'm not too sure how they filmed it yet. I haven't really done the research on that quite yet. I'm not sure if they did 35mm or digital, but it really looked like 35mm to me. It has a really old Spielbergian vibe to it. However, like I said, don't go in there thinking about Saving Private Ryan or any of his weird action-y type films. You're not getting any of that. This is more in line with Schindler's List or with Lincoln, those sorts of films. If you're really not into a film that takes its time to get to know somebody and show you the core of who they are, it's not for you. I heard people complaining in the cinema as well, like, oh, one of those touchy-feely films. And it is a little touchy-feely. It's got Spielberg written all over it. There's some great humor in this movie. If you like some humor, there's some great drama in it. It's never over the top, though, and I will give both Spielberg and the writers credit for that. I love how not over the top the drama is in this film. It's very down to earth. This film could have easily been one of those that just stabs you constantly to make you cry, and it didn't do that. There's maybe one moment that causes that sort of emotional eruption, but in general, it's just a nice film to sit and watch. It's 2 hours and 21 minutes, and I didn't feel that time at all. So I would say go see this movie. It's really good. My score for Bridge of Spies is going to be a 4 out of 5. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 because I thought everything about it was really nice. However, it does feel like films that have been made before by Spielberg. It feels like films that Tom Hanks has starred in before. And although I like a good biography pick, it does feel a little bit like Oscar bait. So 4 out of 5 is a really good film. Not for everybody. It's not exceptional in any way, I guess. It's exceptional in that it's not exceptional. It's exceptionally unexceptional. Is unexceptional a word? It is now. So that's my view on Bridge of Spies. Let me know what you thought of Bridge of Spies, in case you have an opinion on it. Does it look interesting to you? Does this make you want to see the movie more now? You're like, oh, it's not actually a spy film. It's not really that kind of film. So hopefully that might make some people who haven't seen it go see it, because it really is worth seeing. It's a great holiday film as well. And if you like a bit of history about the Cold War and the building of the Berlin Wall, this is for you. Go see that movie. It's great. So let me know in the comments if you liked this review. Give me a like. Always, I will ask you to subscribe and get your friends to subscribe. I really, really want to make this a community, and so we can all talk about films and just enjoy things. So please subscribe. Please call your friends around. And if you have seen the film, be on the lookout for my extended review, which will have more juicy details, and we can talk about that. Okay, guys, thank you, and goodbye.